So the next part of this, you're going to have to see my ugly mug from time to time, so we can give you a good idea what we're talking about here. So, some more things I wanted to tell you before we moved on to a comparison between these and the Phantom Masters. As you can see, they swivel around. It makes fitting them much easier, and it goes some way towards the fact that they can be worn down from the ear or over the ear. And as I've told you before, I like the over the ear, especially for running, because it alleviates microphonics and such like. These allow for deep insertion into the ear canal, because the diameter is just about my ear canal's entrance diameter. So I'll put them in and show you. So you know when you've got insertion right, because when you've got the music on, and we'll put some music on now, you move anywhere, press anywhere around that IEM, there is no change in the sound. That is the sign of a really good fit. However, let's take these off. The problem comes with the fact that this will get in the way when you're running hard. The cable obviously starts bouncing around all over the place. I end up, to try and alleviate that when I'm running, trying to push the cable guide inside my ear, like so. Believe it or not, it doesn't particularly hurt, but that sort of locks it in place. There's still an awful lot of cable movement which can be alleviated with a cable tie, but they'll stay pretty much locked in place that way. But trying to wear them this way and running hard, it just doesn't work, I'm afraid. So I'm a big fan of the Resonates. They are damn good value for money, in my opinion. £129. Darn good value for money. Maybe you might say, well, they're not much to look at, but as I say, that makes the shape is just natural for fitting, for fairly deep insertion into the ear canal, which will give you a bit of rumble in the bass and some clarity in the uppers. While I'm here, I might just as well show you my KN-i5, which again is being kindly loaned to me for an extended period of time by Andy Kong of KN. So we've shown you the Resonates. And let's compare them to the Phantom Master 4s. Quite a size difference, isn't there? Phantom Master 4s have a new type of connection compared to the previous incarnations, which had a 2-pin connection. These are 1-pin, and they're fixed cables, because we found, or I found, that the cables just fell out of the old Phantom Master 4s all the time. Fit was a nightmare. Whereas, why couldn't they just be like this? That's easy enough connection to me. It works every time, and it never comes out, and all the strain's been taken away by this lovely bit of strengthening here. So this is the strengthening on the front end of the cable for the resonate. Snap that back in, and this is the strengthening for the front end of the Phantom Master 4. It's not quite as much strain relief there, is there? But I don't know if there's going to be a problem with these. It feels a pretty good fit. Fitting wise, again, you've got the filters which screw on and off, and then again for these, to try and get a bit more bass, I've added complies I supplied with the Master 4 package, and these just plug, these just fit in over the ear as standard. They don't insert as deeply into the ear canal. I'm pushing them around. You can feel differences in the sound, but it's not bad. It's not bad. Right. The reason why Trinity have gone for this type of one-pin cable design is so as they can put different types of cable on there. They've got a DAC cable they're going to be using and a Bluetooth cable, so it's a modular cable design. In terms of the sound quality between the two, other people will disagree with me, I'm sure. I prefer the Resonate for its impact and clarity and liveliness of sound. The Trinity has a more smoother sound. They've deliberately taken the harshness out of the old Phantom Master 4s, which were just unbearable. I've hardly ever listened to them at all. So they have cleaned their act up. I've got 10 more cables to try, so you know, what can I say? At the moment, the Trinities are behind the Rockjaws in terms of the clarity of the music. The bass impact is less, the treble impact is less. They're not fatiguing in any way at all, whereas on the Trinities, yeah, definitely the treble was fatiguing on the Fusion and Emotion. But energy was absolutely great. Joe, I think there's a lot of things you've done right with the Resonate. I think it can get even better in time to come, but for a £129 IEM against this £159 IEM, I think you've won on the less is more front. And many people on rock music particularly will prefer the Resonate over the Phantom Master. Obviously, as always, I would encourage you to try them all. Your ears will tell you best what you prefer. Well, happy listening. I hope this has helped you at least have an introduction into the Resonate and the Phantom Master 4 and the differences between the two. Thank you and goodbye.